Well, you know me, I always like to start with something super interesting, and it happened the other day. I'm so excited. 70 years since the first Corvette was unveiled in January of 1953, GM, they now have the electric motorized version of the Corvette. It's still, well, it's kind of a hybrid. It has a 655 horsepower. They're calling it the E-Ray. It can go from stop to 60 miles an hour in 2.5 seconds, which is okay. I mean, not as fast as some other cars, but it gets like 300 miles on the charge, and it's really going to be a home run, I really think, for Corvette. But when I was reading this story, it reminded me of a time when my mother and I were standing by my front door, and out through the gates and coming up our long driveway is Barry and his friend Scott. And they are in his 1967 pristine Corvette. Ooh. I mean, this is a car that was in the movie Con Air, not the one that crashed. This was the other one that actually made it in the streets. So these two guys are coming towards us. And my mother leans over and she whispers in my ear, "You know, Kim, if I didn't know better, I would think that we were in a Viagra commercial."
Incredible.
I know. So if you're ever wondering where I got this sense of humor, it's totally from my mother. And on that happy note, welcome to this award-winning Kim Komando Today podcast. You get our podcast Monday through Fridays, but Friday, it's a little bit different. We like to have some fun with the other folks here at Komando.com and in the Kim Komando Show. And of course, I'm America's beloved digital goddess, Kim Komando, here with you once again. And if you're a new listener, we're so glad to have you. And if you're a regular listener, welcome back. And we always welcome your comments and your feedback, and you can send us a note to podcasts@Komando.com. And if you ever have a question that you'd like us to answer, really super easy to do. It's a little old school. Go to Komando.com, and in the upper right-hand corner, there's a link that says Email Kim. I read every single note that gets sent there. And joining me, as always, on every Friday Kim Komando Today podcast, we have our amazing content queen, Allie Seligman. Yay, Allie. What do you have for us today?
I have bad news. A new scam, parking ticket scam. But I'm going to give you all the ways to stay safe. And then one of my handy tech tips that I guarantee if you do this, it will save you time every day.
Ooh, I love that. We all need to save time. We all need to. And then, of course, we have our magnificent millennial and our very own internet scout, Matthew Heffel. And Matt, what do you have on tap for us?
I'm going to talk about some high fashion that can help disguise you from facial recognition software, as well as the best free wedding planning apps.
Ooh.
Ooh, because after all, you're getting married.
I am. So I've been using a lot of them.
You know, we don't have that song like "Go into the Okay, all right, maybe not. Okay, you know, I should never sing, and I apologize for everybody who listened to that at this moment. All right, let's start with some news, some tech developments to keep you in the know, and we're going to start seeing more sites, e-commerce sites that will have buy with Prime. I don't know if you noticed this, but when you're out shopping around, you see buy with Prime. And so even though you're not on Amazon, you can use your Amazon Prime account in order to buy whatever you're doing. Now, the reason why I bring this up is the stats are astounding. As far as if you have your own website, you really need to start investigating how you can get buy with Prime on your particular website. So let me ask you a question. If 100 people go into a Target or Walmart, what do you think that percentage is of people who actually walk out with something? What do you think that is?
Oh, my gosh.
Is it a Target or a Walmart? Because I feel like those are different.
90?
Yeah, somewhere in the high 90s.
Maybe 20%.
Whoa.
What?
25%. Yes.
Okay, maybe it's just me who...
Yes. You're just like, I need to have every single thing that Target sells at this moment.
Yeah.
Or when you go to Costco and you want one thing.
One thing. Okay. And then you have spent $150 and you don't know how.
At least. Because, you needed that Vegemax blender at that particular moment. You needed that. Well, when anyone types in Amazon.com, if they're a Prime member, the stat is 74% of those people will buy something on Amazon.
Wow.
13% for non-Prime numbers. Imagine if that was Macy's. I don't know the last time you've been in a Macy's, but those things are just going down the crapper. Okay. And I mean, if Macy's could get 75% of everybody to buy something, that would be amazing. So if you have a website, you need to put that buy with Prime on your checkout page, and Amazon's going to open up to everybody by the end of this month. Some big advantages if you are a Prime member, in case you see it and you're wondering if you should use it, you get free shipping, free returns, and one-click checkout. Makes it really super easy. Now, if you have Buy with Prime on your own website, the conversion rates will increase 25% on average.
Wow.
Wow.
Makes sense.
Could you imagine? I mean, that is really something. So what does Amazon get out of all this? Well, of course, they get the payment processing fees. But most importantly, what do they get? Come on, boys and girls, more data.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. And then they also know what you're buying when you're not on Amazon. Which means we're going to have more Amazon branded stuff as they figure out what they don't have, right? You know, and Amazon, they're always innovating. I don't know if you've heard this, but they have a new service where they can deliver custom-made suits in less than 48 hours. They're calling it Taylor Swift. Okay, speaking of clothing, notice this professional segue, right, Matt?
Yeah. If you've ever been out walking around, you probably notice a ton of cameras, whether you're walking down the street downtown or you're just walking through a department store, maybe like Macy's, but probably not. You'll probably see a ton of cameras all over the place. And a lot of these cameras are using that facial recognition software to track who's coming and going, who's moving around and where they're going. And this is kind of creepy and kind of weird. And if you've been in the past, there's been other solutions you can have to this. Maybe you just stay home, or maybe you just go into nature, into the forest and just walk around there because there's so much to do. Or you could buy one of those really weird metallic hoods that cover you up, but it's not really it'll keep you away from the facial recognition, but you're going to stand out like a sore thumb. Well, there have been...
Who's that weirdo with the hood on it?
Exactly.
Okay.
Well, an Italian designer named Manifesto designed a whole collection for a company called Capable. Now, these are high fashion garments that basically have a weird pattern on it that is almost like animal prints all over it. And what it does is it tricks the facial recognition camera to think that you are an animal and not a person. So it'll come up as giraffe or lion or antelope or whatever.
Oh my gosh.
But they look like high fashion. They look like something that someone would walk down a runway at. But they are available. You can go on their website right now. Again, it's Capable, but they are very, very expensive. So these are the cheapest one I can find on their website was $285 for a t-shirt.
Whoa.
A t-shirt. The most expensive one on there was a full-length dress. That was $480.
Well, the full-length dress, you might be an elephant.
Well, right? Yeah, exactly. They're calling the technology adversarial patching. And again, what it does is it has these weird shapes on it. You'll have to check it out. They're like orange and yellow and green and brown, and it basically tricks the camera every time. But one of the things that these designers are trying to do is they're going to be coming out with new ones every year, because as they create them, the people that create the facial recognition technology try to beat it. And so it's just this back and forth of people trying to one up each other and trying to create more and more and more. Now, if you are interested in this facial recognition stuff, there is some stuff you can go over to komando.com and check out. There's two things you need to look for on there. You can find out how to remove your information from facial recognition websites, as well as to find out if the police department in your city is using the software to track people as well. So those are both over at komando.com.
Yeah, that's really important stuff. What would they search for? What's the title of those articles?
Both of those are going to be facial recognition, and it's the top two articles on the search.
Perfect. Facial recognition.
Yes.
Good stuff, Matt. All right. Oh, bad news alley again. Really?
I need
Come
like a little
on.
song or a sound effect, like maybe a womp womp. A nice womp.
Time for Allie.
Yes.
Bummer.
Oh.
Here she is.
But I tell you this stuff because I want to keep you safe. And this is a new scam that you need to watch out for. Fake parking tickets. These have been around in different iterations for a long time. But this time, the Better Business Bureau, they're getting lots of reports about people that are scammed into paying these tickets. People are out there using handheld printers to print up a ticket, put it on your car. Now, they usually contain a QR code that will take you to a website to pay. It is not going to be the official city or municipality website because it's fake. And so two bad things happen, right? One, you maybe pay a fine that you didn't actually owe, and then you give up a bunch of your personal information to who knows who.
Oh, God. You know what? You're right, Allie. I mean, think about that. Because they're going to want to know your name, your address, maybe your social security number.
Oh, you just gave them your
Right.
credit card. Yeah, a ton of
Yes.
stuff. Yes. In one case, the person says they parked in a garage. They paid at the front where you get the little ticket. They displayed it in their windshield, and then they came back and they had a ticket for $56 that said your ticket wasn't displayed. And this person went to the site to go pay it. And so that's the first red flag, right? That's how they try to get you. They try to tell you were doing something wrong. And if you're sure, no, I know I'm allowed to park here, or I know I already bought the ticket, that is a red flag. A few more words of wisdom. If you are traveling, so if you have out-of-state plates, you're more of a target because they assume that you don't know the local parking laws. And again...
Oh, you know what? That's smart.
Yeah.
That's smart.
Yeah. Again, always double check the URL. If you are paying a parking ticket, it should be the official city website. It should end in .gov. Don't just scan a QR code or go to, a URL they give you on the ticket. Actually go to your city's website. And if the ticket leads you to a PayPal, a Zelle, a Venmo, anything like that, crumple it up, throw it away. Don't pay that. And as a special treat today, I'm also Good News Allie.
Oh, yay!
We need another set like angels. Okay, the good news, the Apple Watch just saved another life. So this time a 59-year-old woman from England, her watch gave her that alert that said there was something irregular with her heartbeat. So she went to the doctor, had to get a ton of tests, and found out she had a blockage in her heart and she needed a pacemaker. At one point, she had actually flatlined for 19 seconds.
Whoa.
She could have, she could have died. So she said, this absolutely saved my life. So reminder, if you have a family history of heart problems, it might be a good piece of tech for you to invest in. Over on Komando.com, we have a nice guide actually with all the different Apple Watches to tell you the best one for you. You don't have to buy the most expensive one. Even the cheaper ones do a lot of this stuff. So check it out.
And that's under the shopping guides?
Indeed.
You got it. A while back I was in Little Italy, part of New York City. If you are unfamiliar with the area, but it is Little Italy. I mean, you actually feel like you are in somewhere in Rome. And I was just walking down the street, and this guy was getting a parking ticket. And this woman cop, she's in New York, she's just giving him the parking ticket, It just reminded me when you were talking about it. And he afterwards, I was watching this all happen. Afterwards, he thanked, he said, "Oh, grazie," to the cop, thank you for the parking ticket. And I looked at him, I said, boy, you're just like a really nice guy. I mean, the parking ticket, you're okay with that? And he goes, yeah, that's a fine. That's a fine. All right, I'm sorry about that. But actually, that was a true story, it was. Sure. All right, coming up, we have a great way that you can text using your computer. And Matt has what the internet is buzzing about. And Allie has this really strange, weird way for you to make money. And of course, we have a lot more, so stay right where you are. Hey, welcome back to Kim Komando today. Of course, we're getting you ready for the weekend, and that includes free know-how. What? Yes, free know-how. Make sure that you subscribe to our newsletters. Head over to komando.com/subscribe. We have Apple and Android and Windows, small business tips, breaking news, security alerts. The list goes on and on. And if you're already a subscriber, make sure that you tell us your preferences. You can do that at the same spot, komando.com/subscribe, komando.com/subscribe. And by the way, we're not going to sell, lease, distribute your email address to anybody ever. It comes with our spam-free guarantee. Once again, at komando.com/subscribe. All right, this is part of the podcast where we like to give away some tips, some great stuff for people to know and use. And I want all of us to think about everything that's on your laptop or on your computer, right? It's got your photos, all your work stuff, your passwords. That's why you should never, ever really risk clicking on an attachment that you get from somebody who you don't know, or it just comes in through your email like, oh, I wonder what this is. Now, the reason why I bring this up is that it used to be that they would use the malware, the badware stuff would be coming in under Word or Excel, say documents or sheets, because this way they could enable the macros, right? Well, word out this past week that it's no longer those files, executables, PDF files, or these short link files, that now the hackers are using zip files and RAR files.
Oh.
RAR files. RAR files. RAR files, okay? So what you want to do is make sure that if you get any of those files, that you make sure that you do a couple of things. You can run that file through your antivirus software. You can run it through a malware scanner. But the bottom line is that if you're not expecting those files from anybody in your life, okay, and you get any type of attachment, what we want you to do is always remember that mantra. Stop and think, don't click the link. Stop and think, right? Don't click the link. So when you get something, I want you to sit there and say, what did Kim Komando and Ali Seligman and Matthew Heffel tell me? Yes. Stop and think. Don't click the link. By the way, you can also check the file's properties. You right-click on the file and you select properties, and then you can look at the details tab, and that's where you can see the digital signatures. But the bottom line here is I want everybody to be safe. I don't want to be like Bad News Kim, but we just want to make sure that we pass along all this intel. And don't forget to share this with your family members and friends. And so if you've got somebody who's not so technically literate, make sure you pass along that advice too. Okay, so Matt, before we talk about your wedding, it was a big deal in December that, you were starting your weight loss journey.
Yes.
Because you want to look great on that wedding day, and you were super excited. You were talking about meal planning and exercise and dieting apps, and so now you're like 6 weeks into it. How's it going?
Yeah, let's not talk about that quite yet. The holidays were rough. Ask me in 3 weeks, and we'll see where we are.
Back on track.
Yeah, back on track.
We'll be back on track. All right, so tell us how you're planning the wedding.
Okay, so back in the day, I was thinking about this. You had to have a wedding planner. It was just required. It was too much. There's too much to do. But with all the technology these days, me and my fiance have decided that we're just going to plan the wedding ourselves, right? But it's still pretty complicated, and it's really hard to do if you're just using a notebook and paper and pen. So we decided to go find all the best free available software and apps to help us manage the whole thing. So I wanted to let anybody else who has kids or grandkids or who are getting married themselves, these are the apps that I'm using that you could use. They are free. That could really help get everything done on time. So the first one is called With Joy. This is a free wedding website building tool. Again, free wedding website, which is really handy. So what we were able to do was you go to this website. It's called With Joy again. You can put in all your information. You upload photos of each other, of yourselves. You set the date, and you have has a template where you can design the whole thing out. And then you have a wedding website, and it's really simple. You just get a custom URL, and it's right there. You can send it to everybody. That's how we're doing our save the dates, actually, is we're going to send that URL of the wedding website. Then they can just go and they can RSVP on the wedding website as well. So you can enter all your guests, all your guests into this website. And how they RSVP is they just enter their name and their email address, and then it will send them a confirmation, and we don't have to send out the papers that had the 7 different types of paper and the one little tissue paper and all that stuff. We're not doing that. So this is a much more efficient way. It also has a QA section. I know that if you've ever planned a wedding, you know that there's always relatives who have 70 questions about what's going on and what to happen.
Oh my gosh,
so we have exactly. So we have a separate QA page that can go there and it'll answer all those frequently asked questions. So that's super handy. That's With Joy.
Now, does it help with the seating? Because I know that's always an issue at weddings. Like, who gets to sit at the head table?
Right.
Why do I have to sit with this cousin who I hate? I mean, does it help with that?
I'm about to get there. That's the next app here.
Ooh.
So the next app is called Wedding Happy. This is an app that's on the App Store and the Google Play Store. It is free. There is a premium version that has a few more features, but I found through my use of it that I don't really need the premium version. It's really not that much different. What this basically is it is a full wedding planning app. So it'll give you dates. So you put in your date of the wedding, and it'll give you, okay, you should have this done by this date. You should have this done by this date. And it runs you through the entire thing. It has a list so you can check off each one as you do it. It also has a seating chart help thing. So you put in how many tables you have, how many people sit at each table, and you can actually create connections between the different family members so that it will build that seating chart for you.
Oh, that's cool.
Right. And it also will give you can put your budget in there. You can say, oh, my budget's this. Then it will say, here's the average cost of each one of these things for you. How much are you planning on? And then as you go down those steps.
That's terrific.
Yeah, that's
cool.
fantastic.
Really great. Yeah.
And it can help you get everything done and make sure that you're on budget. So you're not coming to the month before the wedding and you're $15,000 over budget, right? So this is super helpful. That one's called Wedding Happy. It's free App Store, Google Play Store. The final one, everybody already has. I'm just using Google Sheets. It's super helpful. So here's the cool thing. There are free templates that anybody can find. Just go to Google and type in Sheets, semicolon, and then whatever you're looking for. So wedding planning. And it'll come up with dozens of different templates that people have saved on Google Sheets that have all the info that you need. So people that have used them before have created their own. And so we're using that one to share those budgets with other people in the family that are helping out with everything. So that way we can all keep track of it collectively. So we have a Google Sheets that has the whole budget, has all the different items and things that we need. And so that I can say, hey, Mom, can you go to the florist and get a quote from these 3 florists? And then she can enter it into that Google Sheet. And then me and my fiance can go through and say, okay, well, we like this one, this one, this one. And then we can check it off. And so we have that to share with everybody. So Google Sheets is probably the best tool we're using right now.
Well, you know what? Congratulations. So when are you getting married?
November.
Nice. Of this year?
Of this year. I have a little, so for Christmas, my parents bought us a little like wooden block thing that has the countdown. So every day I move the wooden block to the next number lower and everything like that. So I think we're 301 days or something like that from the wedding.
Well, there's still time to back out. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Just kidding.
Man, I wish they had all those apps back in my day.
Right?
Yeah.
I know. My mother, she did all of my wedding planning.
Yeah.
She did. And I didn't know this until after she came back. But apparently I was about 11 or 12 years old, and we were in Maui. Mm-hmm. And there's this little tiny church in Wailea. And I told her, someday I'm going to get married there.
Oh.
And so she actually arranged it. So that's where I got married at this little church
awesome.
in Maui. I know, it was
beautiful.
so sweet. Weddings are great.
Yeah.
Okay, so Allie, you're going to share a great secret that I use every single day. It's instead of pulling out your phone to text, you can use your computer, your laptop, right?
Amazing. Yes. It's a nice little productivity hack. Get some time back, because if you're going from device to device, you don't realize that's a big time waste. You take your attention off of your computer if you're working at a computer all day. So I say put your text on your computer, just like Kim does. If you have an iPhone and a Mac, it's actually really easy because you use the same iCloud account in both places. So you just set that up in the Messages app on your phone. If you need a walkthrough, we have that on Komando.com. If you have an Android and a PC, there are a few ways. You can use Microsoft's Your Phone app. It's really easy. It's nice. You can actually get your calls and your texts. You can get notifications. You can even open your apps and look at your photo albums, which is pretty cool. But this is the one I do. You can do this with an Android and a PC or a Mac. So most people who have an Android, we use Google Messages for our messaging. And you go to messages.android.com and there's a QR code. And then you just scan it with your phone and it connects your messages. It says, are you sure you want to get your texts on this computer? So you can just get them right in your browser. That's a really nice option too. That's what I use. It's super easy. So yeah, if you've never done this before, do it. It's so nice. And for most of us, I can reply a lot faster typing with my fingers than actually, getting my phone, typing that on my phone.
Can you do it with a Android and an iPad? Would that work the same way?
Yeah, I bet so, because the Messages one, it's just in a browser. Oh. So yeah, you could do it anywhere.
That's super handy with the QR code.
Yeah, it makes it super easy.
You're not trying to figure it all out. Hey, and by the way, if you love these quick tips, make sure that you get our other podcasts, our Daily Tech Update. Every single day you get one news story and one digital life hack, a tip that you're going to use time and time again. So wherever you get your podcast, just search for Komando with a K, of course. All right, coming up, we have the What the Heck headline of the week with me. Oh my gosh, wait till you hear this. You're not going to believe it. Matt has what the internet is buzzing about. Allie has a weird way to make money. And Matt, your joke at the end, you were on duty this week. What is it, you think?
I think they're actually pretty good. There's still those shorter jokes. I have 4 of them. I'd say that all of them combined, it's at least a 7. I promise.
All of them combined.
You're gonna get one of those breathe out your nose laughs. You're like, nice. That's at least.
All right, so you don't want to miss that.
Baker's always gives you savings and rewards on top of our lower than low prices. And when you download the Baker's app, you can enjoy over $500 in savings every week with digital coupons. Plus, you can earn fuel points to save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. So it's easy to save big. Baker's, fresh for everyone. Savings may vary by state. Fuel restrictions apply.
We've locked in low prices to help you save big store-wide. Look for the locked in low prices tags and enjoy extra savings throughout the store. Baker's, fresh for everyone.
Hey, welcome. It's Kim Komando today. And what could you do if I gave you $500 right now? What could you do with that on Amazon.com? Think about everything that you could buy. And that's why you need to enter to win right now over at Komando.com/win. That's Komando.com/win. And by the way, there are ways that you can get extra entries. And make sure that you follow those, because you can subscribe to a podcast, get a newsletter, follow us on Instagram or Twitter or what have you, and then you get more entries. And also share the contest. You get 2 automatic extra entries just for doing that. So go to komando.com/win. That's komando.com/win. Because yes, we want you to win. It's going to be ending shortly. So now you're down to the wire. So do it while you're thinking about it. Komando.com/win. All right. So I have the what the heck headline of the week. Okay, you ready?
So ready.
Indeed.
Woman decides to divorce her husband because of Chat GPT.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar with Chat GPT, it's from OpenAI, and it is totally going to kill Google. If you ever wondered, like, what would kill Google, this is it. Because instead of you typing in things that you're looking for and ending up with 10 different websites, is that this is AI. It will just go out and answer your question. So you can ask it anything. So Sarah, she works in the tech field, and she says, I don't know whether or not I should end my 5-year marriage. And I should preface this by saying Sarah has admitted that before she came to this decision, she signed up over at Illicit Encounter.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, no.
Sarah.
So Sarah, okay, that's a dating website for people who are married, in case you're wondering what Illicit Encounters is. She says that she was having constant bickering with her husband, and she either needed to fix the issues or get rid of her lover or end her marriage or whatever it was. She didn't know what to do. So she went to Chat GPT and said, if all this is going on, she explained it, what would be a fairy tale ending? What should I do? And she said the response left her shaking. Okay, this is her exact quote. I asked the app to write me a story based on my current situation and what to do in the story if the marriage is failing and the excitement that I'm having over this affair. Okay, the woman's she's been married 5 years. Okay, she's already having an affair. There's some big issues there. The Chat GPT told me I should put my happiness first and leave my husband, which is what she said that she did.
Wow.
Okay, so
Okay.
she asked AI what she should do, and she divorced her husband, and she moved in with her lover that she met on Illicit Encounters. So, that's going to last a really long
That's
time.
a real
You just know
nice
that.
story to tell over the. We met on
Yeah.
Illicit Encounters. It was beautiful.
That's it. Meanwhile, I was thinking like the husband on his phone, he has an app that says, how did you get yourself into this mess? And things you need to do today in order to make sure that she's never around you ever again. By the way, this was in the New York Post. And the New York Post is carrying our columns and our articles. And so if you're over at newyorkpost.com/tech, you're going to start seeing our work from Komando.com. And by the way, the post that I was reading this, and the post right underneath it was that what we wrote about all the signs that you can tell if your partner's cheating on you, all the digital tracks.
If they have an app on their phone called Illicit Affairs.
Yeah. Oh, good
Yes,
sign.
you know what? We didn't say that.
We didn't.
No,
we missed that. That big red
What
flag.
was the other one? Madison? What was
Ashley Madison?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Ashley Madison. That's another one. That's right. So I know what you're thinking. This she's not a cougar. She's a cheetah. All right. So, Matt, you are Internet Scout because I don't want to say live on TikTok.
My TikTok usage has been very publicly tracked. Everybody knows,
By TikTok.
Yes, by TikTok especially. But I like to think about it this way. I'm keeping my finger on the pulse of what's going on TikTok, so that I can share it with everybody. I'm like a little spy inside of TikTok watching everything going on.
So it's more like a public service.
Yeah.
I think so.
He's doing some good.
I don't want to use the word hero, but
Not all heroes wear capes.
So during my perusing of TikTok, sometimes you come across some really cool pieces of tech. And I came across 2 over the last week that I really wanted to share with you guys because they are going viral and everybody's talking about them. They've got millions of views on these videos. So I thought I'd bring them up to you. And if you guys are interested in them, you can go over and get them. We'll get them up on Amazon.com. So the first one is called SwitchBot. Now, what this is it's a tiny Bluetooth connected finger, basically. It's a little box, and when you connect it to your Bluetooth and you activate it, a little finger comes out and presses whatever button you have it attached to. So here's some uses that people have used online. So number one, if you have a light switch in your house and it's not smart, right? And you want to be able to actually turn it on from wherever you are, you can connect this little finger to it and then you press the button on your phone, clicks it on.
Okay.
Easy as that. Super helpful. Say you want to turn on the TV and you're not even home, you're in your office or wherever you are. You can attach it to the remote control and then you can activate it on Bluetooth. It'll turn it on the TV. So if you want to, seem like you're home, protect your home from burglars, or if you want to entertain your dog, maybe your dog's barking and you want to turn on the TV, maybe it'll calm them down a little bit. You can do that as well. Another thing is if you have a pool and maybe it's not one of those newfangled smart pools that you can control with your phone and you can't turn on the pump or the water feature without being there, you attach it to the little pump, press the button, turns on the water feature. It's super simple.
Does it really make that sound effect?
Right. Well, like a smart pool is like thousands of dollars to upgrade your pool. This thing's $30 on Amazon.
Hey,
so
there you go.
Pretty cool. All right. The other thing is called NFC tags. And these are incredible. I knew they existed, but I guess I never really thought of all the uses you can use for them. Basically what they are is they're called near field communication tags. And what that means is that you set it up on your phone, and we'll get the whole steps over on komando.com on how to set it up on an Android or an Apple. But the good thing is that it's easy on both because both Apple and Android have all the steps inside of the feature, so you can do it yourself. It's not super complicated. And what you do is whenever you tap your phone on one of these little tags you can buy on Amazon in a pack of 100 for $24. And you can set them up where you can, when your phone taps on this little tag, you set up an automation and it automatically does something for you. So for example, you can have one right by your front door. And then when someone walks in the front door and says, oh, can I get the Wi-Fi? All they have to do is tap the phone on this little tag and they have the Wi-Fi just like that.
Oh, you know what? That's better than the QR code.
Right?
This is more like James Bondy type stuff.
Think about this one. If you're sitting at your desk and you're working and you don't want your phone to be going off, you can get one of those little tags, put it on, set it up to where when you put it on there, do not disturb mode. So you just put it on there, do not disturb mode automatically. Don't have to do anything.
That's cool.
Isn't that a really cool one? Another one is, so say you haven't smartified your entire house, or you have smartified your entire house. You can put a little tag next to your bed. And so when you get into bed and you put your phone on your nightstand, turns off all the lights immediately and puts on rain sounds or whatever you want to do.
I'm just over here yelling like a chump at the A word to like turn off all the lights. And she's like, I can't, I don't understand that.
I can't do that right now.
Yeah.
I'm having trouble understanding.
One thing that I saw a lot of people doing is they put them on certain things in their kitchen. So for example, your coffee maker, and then when you notice you're running low on coffee, you can set up an NFC tag to where you tap it, it automatically orders new coffee from Amazon.
Incredible.
Just like that.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think like, if I could put one like on Barry's butt. So it's like, okay, this is part of the day when you need to go for a walk and get some exercise, boom, So how much you buy 100 for how much?
You buy 100 for about $29.
That's awesome.
They're really cheap.
So here's the deal. Okay, so I'll buy the 100. Okay. And then I'll give you 30 each. Okay. And then we'll figure out. Although I have to give some to John and Jeremy and Maddie and,
we should
and
divide
Mike
them
and
all up.
everybody else.
Think about what we could do around the office with them
so
too.
I'll buy the 100. And then we'll have to have like this party where everybody has to show us how they use the NFC.
Yeah.
I think that'd be fun. All right, that's really great stuff. All right, coming up, we have the weird way to make money. Allie has that, and then a joke at the end. Matt has that, and so he says all combined, all 4 jokes add up to a 7.
Yes.
I don't know if that's going to keep him till the end.
Hey, who doesn't love one of those good breathe out your nose laughs? Doesn't have to be a whole laughing out loud, no LOLing, but one of those little like, that's fine.
So like maybe is it something like this? Like because you were talking about weddings.
Yeah.
Okay. I went to a wedding recently where everybody was in tears. The bride was crying, the groom was crying, all the parents were crying. I mean, even the priest was crying. And you know what else? Even the wedding cake was in tears.
That's solid.
Stay with us. It's Kim Komando today. If you haven't already followed us on social media, what the heck are you waiting for? We're at twitter.com/Kim Komando, Instagram.com/Kim Komando, Facebook.com/Kim Komando. So wherever you are, it's at Kim Komando. Stop ghosting us. Just hit that big old follow button. Okay, so Allie, because it's 2023 and a lot of people are looking for ways to make money, we've talked about online tutoring and teaching and being a virtual assistant, and you could be a copywriter, do data entry, graphic design. You could answer 800 numbers for companies and be customer service. Do research, answer surveys, do transcriptions and translations, manage somebody's social media, and is this along the same lines that you're going to be talking about, like a new way to make some money online?
Kinda. You'll make money. You'll make it online. You can sell pictures of your feet.
Oh, really?
Yeah. This is actually a really lucrative endeavor. Now, before we get into it, of course, obviously, this is a very personal choice. If you want to sell pictures of your feet, I'm not necessarily encouraging you. I'm just telling you, you can make a lot of money doing this. And there are two big sites for this. I'm not going to be talking about OnlyFans. No, these are feet-specific sites, InstaFeet and Feetify. Now, I love that these have
Feetify.
I know,
Feetify.
like 2010 tech company names.
Got an algorithm to give you the best possible feet.
Yeah. Okay, how much can you make? This quote really made me laugh. Some people earn around $500 a day on InstaFeet, but those are experienced sellers with a large following. Experienced sellers.
Okay, so wait a minute. So you can make $500 a day. Do your feet have to be doing anything, or is it like a social media account just for your feet?
We'll get there. So if we're looking at like full earning, this was a headline I found, again, on New York Post, actually. This woman's feet make her more than $70,000 a year. Okay. So both of these sites, they're basically marketplaces. So kind of like a social media site would look, where you can see different profiles, and then people buy your pictures. And the best models on Feetify, they actually get cash incentives up to $10,000 a month. So if you're very popular, you'll get bonused.
Wow.
Feetify, which also seems to go by the name Feet Finder, this one calls itself the safest, easiest, and most secure website for verified users to buy and sell custom feet pictures. Again, you set your own prices on these things. In this case, Feetify takes about 20%. I'm sure it's similar for, what was the other one? InstaFeet. So they take a cut, you sell your own feet pictures. So if you are entrepreneurial, if you have sales skills, if you have nice feet, this could be the job for you.
Okay, so basically, let's just call it what it is. Somebody has a foot fetish.
Yeah.
Right?
Indeed.
For sure.
And so, okay, so this is a place for people who get sexually aroused.
She's just saying it as plainly as possible.
Yeah.
Yes,
by looking at feet, pictures of feet.
correct.
Well,
Okay. I can't say in all my years of, being a woman, and I am a woman, okay, pronouns, all aside, I am a woman, that I've never really looked at a picture of a foot and went, wow, that's hot.
Nope.
I mean,
Picture of a foot.
I gotta have that foot right now.
Well, you're not the shopper for InstaFeet or Feetify.
you're not the clientele.
No.
You're not the target demographic.
But hey, these sites are very popular.
You can't give us any. You got to give us like a couple of the usernames. Just
I'll tell you my favorite one.
Okay.
Meaty Souls.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I promise you, everybody who's listening, we are going to put this podcast back on target next week. Okay.
No, next week. We'll have one that most of us would actually consider. This one, though, we had to do it, right?
You know what? I'm going to tell you, Allie and Matt, we're going to get an email.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for telling me about the Feet Finder site.
Thanks so much, Kim Komando.
My new favorite website. The next week, how do I wipe my browser history?
Yes, how do I make sure that nobody knows I went to the foot fetish site?
Oh, by the way, I did all this on my work account, so if you see anything weird, IT guys.
John and Jeremy are going, Allie, we got to talk about Allie's it was probably some time ago I was getting pitched by a company who said that they could personalize newsletters. The company was Sail Through, and they're still around. And this is really before personalization was coming in. And so they said, Kim, we looked at your browsing history, and they asked me beforehand.
Okay.
And so that this way they could personalize the newsletter content for me. And so in the conference room, it's, me and Barry and, a couple of the marketing folks and a vice president and everybody. And I'm sitting at the head of the table, and they pull up my browsing history right there on the big screen in this conference room. And they're trying to sidescape one website. And they're saying well, you go to a lot of car websites and news websites and tech sites and this. And then Barry looks at me and he goes, Ashley Madison? You went to Ashley Madison? And I was like, honest to God, I was writing a story.
Research.
That's and that's all it was. And I'm like, guys, really? And then I'm justifying myself in front of everybody. I'm like, no, I swear, I'm look at me, I'm not doing anything. Anyway, so Matt, now close us up with a great joke or 3 or 4.
I got 4, and they're all. I like to call these my clever tech puns. I'm sure at some point in the last 10 years we used one of these at one point, but I'm going to go with them anyways because I honestly laughed out loud at one of these. One of them really loudly. Okay.
One.
What do you call it when you have your mom's mom on speed dial? Instagram.
Oh, that's cute.
I like that one.
Yeah, that's cute. Yeah, that's
all
cute.
right. Why did the PowerPoint presentation cross the road? To get to the other slide. That's a solid. All right. A patient says to a doctor, "Doctor, I need your help. I'm addicted to checking my Twitter account." The doctor says, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't follow."
Okay, that is cute. That was cute.
good.
Okay, and then my friend told me this one just last night, and I was like, I'm going to use this on the podcast later. Okay. Why are Apple stores always so hot? Because they don't have any windows. Hey, someone laughed out loud to one of those. I promise.
I think one person did.
Yeah.
No, I'm just teasing.
Three people.
Three people.
I was one of them.
All right. Speaking of 3 people, we always want you to tell at least 3 people about the podcast because this way more people will go ahead and follow us and find us and Kim Komando today. And Allie, tell us what's the takeaway from you this show.
If you have never gotten your text messages on your computer, it's going to change your life. Seriously, go over to komando.com, search text on computer. You'll get an article that'll walk you through all the steps for it, no matter what kind of phone or computer you have. It's really easy. It's really nice. And it's so convenient.
And Matt, how about you?
Check out these NFC tags. I think that they're going to be something that a lot of people are going to be using in the future. And so start trying them out. Think of new ways to be using them. They're really cool. Check them out.
And if you are using NFC tags in a unique way, tell us about it. Send us an email, podcasts@komando.com. And by the way, we all get that email, so you have to be nice, okay?
Please.
We want only nice emails. We don't want any bad emails. And so don't forget to enter to win that $500 gift card too, by the way. That's komando.com/win, komando.com/win. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you again here next week.
Kick my...
We're kicking our feet up?
Oh. The foot thing?
Oh, the foot thing. All right.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not that flexible. Oh, jeez.
See if I can.
Well, I think you got to take your socks off.
Oh, Kim.
Oh, we're giving away things for free now. Yeah.